The White House is pissed that they can no longer control speech within social media platforms, especially since they've been told that they can't communicate with them. Although, you know where I'm going with this, right? Yep, they found another way, and it's called net neutrality. However, it looks like they're going to have a fight on their hands to get it done.
So what is net neutrality, Mr. President? Well, at its most basic level, it's simply the idea that internet service providers shouldn't prioritize or block certain internet traffic at the expense of others. Understood in that way, it's a concept that enjoys broad support in both parties. But that's not what we're talking about with the Biden FCC's net neutrality proposal. Like the Obama FCC before it, the Biden FCC wants to assert broad new government powers over the internet using rules, get this, that were designed for telephone companies and monopolies back during the Great Depression. This is a quote from FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel, I should say, last week. And I quote, "Today there is no expert agency ensuring that the internet is fast, open, and fair," end quote, proving once again that Democrats' faith in Washington experts is undying, and that nothing scares a Democrat more than the thought of some aspect of society not being regulated by the federal government.
Wait, hold up. Who said that Democrats, or for this case, the White House, is scared of a society that isn't regulated by the government? I mean, they didn't say a thing when their contact with social media companies were cut, right? Now, if you're new here, I can be a little bit sarcastic with my words.
I wanted to ask about this decision we saw yesterday in Louisiana on the White House contact with social media companies. Does the White House have a response to the judge basically saying that this is the most massive attack on free speech in the U.S. history?
So, as you know, DOJ is reviewing the decision, the injunction, and so I don't want to get ahead of what they will evaluate and their options could potentially be. So, I'm not going to get ahead of the DOJ. If you're asking me if we agree or disagree, we certainly disagree with this decision. And as I said, the DOJ is reviewing this, so I'm not going to get ahead of what their evaluation, what options they're going to potentially take on moving forward.
Options that they can take moving forward. Do you mean the DOJ or the White House? Because the FCC reviving this net neutrality thing, it looks a lot like another option to control speech. Tell you what, guys, let's do it in the comments. If you feel as if you're free to speak your mind in this country, just like what our forefathers intended, comment the word free down below. And if you feel otherwise, just go ahead and comment the word no. And while you guys are at it, go ahead and smash the like button for the video. This is the truth serum for YouTube, and this ensures that more people get to see this content. You can also subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications so that you don't miss out on any of these updates that matter to all of us. Appreciate that, guys. Now, getting back to this entire net neutrality thing, right? This isn't the first time that Democrats have talked about it and tried to push it onto us. Remember when this happened years ago?
With the Save the Internet Act, Democrats are honoring the will of the people and restoring the protections that do this. Stop unjust, discriminatory practices by ISPs that try to throttle the public's browsing speed, block your internet access, and increase your costs. This is about freedom. It's about cost. Giving entrepreneurs and small businesses a level playing field and ensuring American innovation can continue to be the envy of the world.
As you heard, it sounds a lot like what Senator Thune said at the beginning. Sounds great initially, but if you take a closer look, we're not being provided any guidelines as to which sites might be throttled by this ruling, because this is being seen as a regulatory overreach, with the fear that this could open up the doors to a utility-style regulation and government price setting. Now, another fear is that content may be moderated or at least slowed down because it doesn't follow a certain narrative. You know what I'm saying? You see where I'm getting at here, right? Just like why some of my videos that have been suppressed due to the nature of the information that I'm sharing with you guys, I'm pretty sure that some of you guys have noticed that little blue warning label that they've put on some of my videos, right? Having this provided to the FCC would probably create even more of these situations. You know, the only reason why I'm even getting views on sensitive topics is because of the amazing community that continues to like and share these videos. Without you guys, who knows how many people will be informed with the truth, right? Now, Rosenworcel, FCC's chairwoman, she said that this was a necessity for everyday life. Why? Well, because of what happened during the pandemic. And you have to wonder, well, what happened during that time? Oh, when different people came out on the internet to debunk different claims from the government regarding, their methods. During that time, we saw censorship at an insane level where people's platforms were literally just taken because their message did not match what needed to be said from the federal government. The government. Don't believe me when I say that this is going to be trouble for our freedom? Look at this text from the FCC's own website. It says right here that they're proposing new rules, in their own words, will safeguard and secure the open internet. This draft would, again, in their own words, reestablish the commission's authority over broadband internet access service, also known as BIAS. Wow, that is a very fitting acronym to have on there right now, isn't it? Now, they also say that they want internet service to be held at the same level of importance as water, power, and phone service. But to be honest, aren't we already doing that? I mean, I'm talking about we, the people, right? Because whatever they said about ISPs doing all of these dastardly things, just didn't come to fruition. In fact, if there was any discrimination felt on the internet, it was probably coming from them. It's what led to interview gems like this one.
For how long has the administration been spying on people's Facebook profiles looking for vaccine misinformation?
Well, that was quite a loaded and inaccurate question, which I would refute.
How?
We're in a regular touch with a range of media outlets.
And we expect that the White House is watching
let me
Fox,
finish.
but
As we are in regular touch with social media platforms. This is publicly open information, people sharing information online, just as you are all reporting information on your news stations.
But, okay, so these 12 people who you have on a list, 12 individuals, do they know that somebody at the Surgeon General's office is going through their profile?
I'm happy to get you the citation of where that comes from. There's no secret list. I will tell you that these are people who are sharing information on public platforms on Facebook, information that is traveling, is inaccurate. Our biggest concern here, and I frankly think it should be your biggest concern, is the number of people who are dying around the country because they're getting misinformation that is leading them to not take a vaccine.
But
young people, old people, kids, children, this is all a lot of them are being impacted by
the
misinformation.
big concern, though, I think, for a lot of people on Facebook is that now this is Big Brother watching you.
They're more concerned about that than people dying across the country because of a pandemic where misinformation is traveling on social media platforms. That feels unlikely to me. If you have the data to back that up, I'm happy to discuss it.
And just like milk, this did not age well. I use these older clips to show you guys that they're not exactly hiding that they are censoring people, not by a long shot. But, and here's the good news. They are, however, feeling the pushback from the American people. Guys like you and me that understand how it is to be free and to have our own thoughts and opinions be respected, so long as we can back it up with facts and data. But what do you guys think? Should the FCC be given this kind of power to have the ability to throttle specific websites and information that they don't think is good for the American people? Or should we instead be given all of the available information and be given the right to decide for ourselves? Let me know down in the comments down below. And before I go, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for being with me today. Thanks for dropping a like for the video. Appreciate that. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one.